Hello and welcome to today's wellness and yoga session. I am Helga and it is a pleasure to be doing this practice with you today. I'm gonna ask you before we start on the yoga mat to make yourself a lovely hot drink, so maybe a coffee or a tea or even a nice hot chocolate. And you are going to need a quiet space in your home. You're going to want to be alone for this one, so maybe get yourself a room where you can close a door, and if there are people in your home, just let them know that you're going to be needing a few minutes alone for your practice, not to be disturbed. So when you are ready with your warm drink, come and sit on your mat. You're going to want to grab yourself a couple of pillows, maybe a rolled up blanket or anything in your home that you're going to be using for the yoga class today. It is a mixture of yin and also stretches, so we're just doing a floor-based, really good class for healing and release today. And make sure that you are happy with the setting in your home where you are practicing. This is a moment today to go inward, to clear the space and get a little bit in touch with your subtle energies and emotions that you might have sort of put on this year, but also just things that you've been going through your whole life, your childhood, etc. So we'll be going through those together today and starting with our yoga practice. So our first pose today for the yin restorative class is simply to grab yourself a pillow, maybe one under your head, and then a pillow or a blanket under each knee. Soles of feet together. If that feels good, knees just fall out, supported by those props. And we are calming the face, really relaxing all the muscles here in the face. And just make sure that you are 100% comfortable. If you are not, just readjust yourself as you need. And let go here. Connecting to your breath. It might feel nice to have your hands on your belly, or maybe one hand on the belly and the other on the heart. And just being gentle with yourself this December. Maybe you had Christmas recently with your family, or maybe you spent time or alone, wherever your situation was. We are ending the year 2024. Now gently release this pose simply as you are, just by putting the props under your feet this time, so the knees are no longer out to the sides but just bent straight. And take your arms overhead. Nice chest opener, stretching the spine, feeling the contact of your back, particularly lower back and upper back on the floor on your mat. And your pillow or blanket under the soles of your feet. And just taking this self-care time for yourself today. And you're welcome to close your eyes at any point if that feels relaxing and good. Now you can place your hands back on your belly or heart space or alongside the body. And you're going to be letting your knees fall out to one side and just place the props wherever it feels good. And enjoy this side bend, this gentle twist. Allowing this moment of calm for yourself. Now bring your knees back to the center and let them fall out to the other side. And just make sure that your blanket or pillow are under your legs or maybe ankles, whatever feels good. And softening here on this side. Letting yourself connect with yourself. And if there are any things that have felt heavy this year or sad, just let them melt into the floor out of your body. Alright, now let's get out of this pose and come up to a seated position. Cross-legged, and you want to gonna have your pillow or blanket maybe under where you're sitting or wherever feels good, and then the other part of the pillow or blanket in front of you. Now take your fists behind you and simply push your hips up to sky. Doesn't really matter what it looks like, just as long as you feel good. And then come back to floor again, and this time fold forward a little bit onto your props at the front. I'm going to be doing this sequence a few times, folding forwards and then taking the fist backwards and opening chest, lifting the hips out. And maybe next time when you do this, you're welcome to cross your legs in a different way at any point, or just keep them as you are. So coming to the front and then back. And breathing as you do these movements. Inhaling nicely, opening the body. And exhale, fold over. Let go here, let yourself be. Beautiful. Now for our next position here, we are going to do a butterfly pose, so just taking the soles of feet together. You're welcome to place any of the blankets on top, that might feel quite nice, just to warm the feet and get that contact. And then perhaps letting your face fall a little bit down, head be heavy, relaxed neck, soft jaw, forehead and back. And here you can tell yourself that you love yourself and that you are supporting yourself in any areas of your life, and that you are a beautiful human being. Gently releasing butterfly pose, take away your props. Now simply come and sit in the middle of the mat. You can place one of the blankets or pillow underneath you as you sit a bit taller. And taking a moment here together. Now rub the hands, palms of hands together to create heat and place them on your face, soaking up the warmth and self-love. Now take one hand to floor, the other one up to sky for a side bend here, and then take that opposite hand down and the other up to ceiling, breathing here. And do this one more time each side. Bending over here generously, breathing into side of body. And opposite arm. Now join your hands at the middle, take a big nice inhale, hands up to sky and interlace the hands, exhale. Let's do this again. Inhale, hands at chest level. And exhale, up to ceiling, interlace hands. Do that one more time. Inhaling nicely at the center and letting go at the top, taking a nice stretch. Now take your left hand to right knee and twist to the back. Breathing here. Back to center and right hand on left knee. Look behind you and twist from your core. Breathing here. And back to center. Now as you're sitting upright, let your palms of hands rest on each knee. You can close your eyes and then simply drop the head onto one side close to your shoulder, and then dropping the ear on the other side. One more time, dropping the ear down towards one shoulder and then the other side. Relaxing your face completely, and if you haven't already, close your eyes gently. Palms of the hands resting on your laps. Sitting upright, just taking a few seconds in relaxation to let all the benefits of your yoga practice sink in, body, mind and soul. And as you sit here in relaxation, visualize your space where you're sitting being a protective and healing space just for you today, where you can do and say anything that you need for your own well-being, self-development and healing. I'll be guiding you through a few practices to support this once you open your eyes. So just follow the sound of my voice and my guidance throughout the rest of this session. And staying with your breath. Staying in your body in a complete relaxed state. Starting to move your hands, fingers, opening your eyes gently, and give yourself a rub on the legs just to get that connection, rubbing the legs, and give yourself heat. And now move up to the upper body and chest and start to tap just with the middle finger and maybe index finger, tapping just in any way that feels good around your chest, shoulders and neck. Not thinking too much about it, just tapping. This is a great technique for release. Anything that's stored in the body, any stuck energy and suppressed emotion, this just feels really good. And now start to do the same, just moving up to your face, cheeks, forehead, area around the ears, space just under your nose, upper lip and chin, lips and even eyebrows and eyes. Just tapping gently. Well done. And we'll be continuing with the next part of today's session. For this, you're going to need a pen and paper. All right, my love, let's get started. So take a moment if you need, grab yourself your hot drink, and then take a pen and paper. Maybe you have a journal, the same that we used in our first session, or just any paper, doesn't matter. And I'm going to ask you to connect with yourself, connect with the question that I'm going to ask, and for you to write down a few of your thoughts on this. So if I were to ask you to look back a little bit on your childhood, on your teenage years, and even your young adult years, within your family setting and your family dynamics, what can you sort of pinpoint out and remember as being maybe not very supportive, things that maybe you feel hurt you a little bit, and even now as an adult have maybe stayed a little bit with you? So start to just write down anything that you feel was a little bit hurtful and not supportive to you in your childhood or teenage years and younger years as an adult. And it doesn't matter, you can just write whatever comes to you or do it in more of a chronological order, starting with, some of your first memories, working your way up throughout the years. Are there any particular instances that stand out? Maybe things that were said to you, or just things within the home. Maybe you weren't always listened to, maybe you weren't supported enough or taken seriously with some things. Maybe within your family dynamic you couldn't always be yourself. Or maybe sometimes your parents argued, or maybe you had a sibling that was difficult, or grandparents, or any other family member, or maybe even a teacher, any adult figure. And as you sort of go through those a little bit, are there a few people that maybe stand out, or one that you feel particularly left you with maybe a few wounds? And this is not to blame or be angry towards that person, but this is just a healing practice for you. Are there particular family members or adults that you feel were not supportive and left you with a little bit of sadness and unworthiness? So just taking your time to write this down. You can pause the video at any point and then continue with the practice. Take as long as you need. So we'll be continuing now with our next practice, which is mirror gazing. So grab yourself a mirror, place it in front of you. You can do like I'm doing, maybe just stack some books under to make it eye leveled. And then I want you to picture yourself as your younger self, maybe as a child, very young, maybe as a teenager or young adult, and really look yourself in the eyes and speak out the words to yourself that you needed to hear at that age. Speak out to yourself. Say that you loved that part of yourself, that version of yourself, and that you today as an adult, you are there for yourself. Take as long as you need in this practice. You can pause the video at any time. Take this time for yourself. Now continuing with the mirror gazing exercise. But this time as you look in the mirror, I want you to look at one person that you maybe pinpointed down on your journal earlier as being one person in your childhood that didn't always help you, that maybe in a way left you with some sad feelings of unworthiness. Maybe you have a difficult relationship with that person. And I want you to look yourself in the eyes, in the mirror, and start to speak to that person. Start to speak to that person from the adult that you are now today, and just tell them how you feel, what you feel they did, and why that wasn't supportive. Take as long as you need. And then tell them that you forgive them, that you hold no anger, that you are an adult now and you are supporting yourself. They did the best they could. And when you are done saying what you have to say to that person, end that exercise simply by taking one hand on your heart space and the other on your throat area, and then take them together out to the universe and blow out and say, I release, I am whole, I release, I am whole. And then take your hands into prayer. Repeat this exercise as often as you need. If there are other people you'd like to speak to, just pause the video and continue the same exercise. And now to close our session together, I want us to take a little self-empowering moment with a random book I chose from this wonderful self-help and wellness manual, The Secret, from Rhonda Byrne. And she says here, this is your life, and it's been waiting for you to discover it. Up until now, you may have been thinking that life is hard and a struggle, and so by the law of attraction, you will have experienced life as hard and as a struggle. Begin right now to shout to the universe, life is so easy, life is so good, all good things come to me. There is a truth deep down inside of you that has been waiting for you to discover it. And that truth is this: you deserve all good things life has to offer. You know that inherently because you feel awful when you're experiencing the lack of good things. All good things are your birthright. You are the creator of you. And the law of attraction is your magnificent tool to create whatever you want in your life. Welcome to the magic of life and the magnificence of you. Beautiful. So now just take a few seconds, maybe by rolling your shoulders in circle motions. And then taking them up to your ears to release any last things you want to let go of. Then take your hands into prayer and bow down for good thoughts. Take your hands to your mouth for good words. And finally, hands to heart space for good actions. I hope that this class was supportive to you, and take all the time you need before you step out of the mat. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you next time. You are awesome.